You finally nailed intermittent fasting. You're crushing your fasting window. The fat is melting off, so you decide to add workouts to speed things up. Smart move, right? Dead wrong. Because if you're training at the wrong time during your fast, you're not just slowing down fat loss, you're practically hitting the emergency brake. Your body's burning muscle instead of fat, your hormones are working against you, and that workout you thought was helping, it's sabotaging everything. But here's the good news. There's a 60-minute window that changes everything. Miss it, and you're spinning your wheels. Hit it, and you turn your body into a fat-burning machine. I'll show you exactly when to train, why it matters, and how to never waste another workout again. Let's fix this in the next minutes. Look, I get it. You're motivated. You're finally seeing some progress with fasting, and you think, hey, if fasting is working, imagine what happens when I add training to the mix. Makes perfect sense, right? Double the effort, double the results. Except your body doesn't work like a simple math equation. And this is where things get tricky. Before we dive in, quick disclaimer. Always consult a healthcare professional before making drastic changes to your diet or exercise routine. What I'm sharing here is based on how the body generally responds to habits, not medical advice for specific conditions. Here's what's happening in most cases. You wake up, you're in hour 14 of your fast, feeling good, feeling light. You hit the gym hard, you crush your workout, you feel accomplished. Then you come home and break your fast with a solid meal. Sounds like a winning strategy, doesn't it? But here's the thing most people don't realize. When you train during a deep fast, especially early in your fasting window, your body is in a very specific metabolic state. And if you push too hard during that state, you're not burning fat, you're burning muscle. Your body is literally eating itself, but it's eating the wrong stuff. Think of your body like a house with two fuel sources, a gas tank, your fat stores, and wooden furniture, your muscle. When you're fasted and you train intensely, your body needs quick energy. Fat takes time to break down. It's like trying to start a fire with logs. Muscle? That's like kindling. It burns fast. And if your body needs energy now, guess which one it's reaching for? Let me break down what's actually happening inside your body during a fast. When you're fasted, your insulin is low. That's good. That's the whole point. Low insulin means your body can finally access fat stores. But here's where people mess up. They assume that because insulin is low and fat burning mode is on, any workout will just accelerate the process. Wrong. Your body also has this hormone called cortisol. Think of cortisol as your body's emergency alarm system. When you're stressed physically or mentally, cortisol rings the bell. And intense training while fasted, that's a 5-alarm fire. Now, cortisol isn't evil. In the right amounts, it actually helps break down fat. But when you combine extended fasting with hard training, cortisol doesn't just break down fat. It starts breaking down muscle tissue to convert it into glucose, quick fuel your brain and body desperately need. It's like trying to heat your house in winter, but instead of going to the woodpile outside, you're fat. You start burning your couch, your muscle, because it's right there and easier to access. Sound familiar? The big mistake I see guys making is this. They train first thing in the morning while deep in their fast, thinking they're maximizing fat burn. They'll do an intense HIIT session, heavy lifting, or a long cardio grind at hours 16, 18, sometimes 20 of their fast. And yeah, they feel it. They feel that empty workout, that slight lightheadedness, that sense of pushing through. They think that's the fat melting away. But what's really happening? Their body is desperately scrambling for fuel. Cortisol is spiking. And because there's no readily available glucose and fat breakdown is too slow for the intensity they're demanding, the body goes, all right, emergency protocol, break down some muscle, convert it to sugar, let's go. You're literally working hard to get weaker and slower while your metabolism tanks. Here's the cruel irony. You're doing all this to lose fat, but by sacrificing muscle, you're actually making it harder to lose fat in the long run. Why? Because muscle is metabolically active tissue. The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn just existing. Lose muscle and your metabolism slows down. You become less efficient at burning fat, even when you're not working out. So what's the fix? There's a specific window during your fasting period where training actually works in your favor. And it's not at the beginning or the middle of your fast, it's at the end. Here's what I mean. Let's say you're doing a 16-8 fast. You stop eating at 8 p.m. and break your fast at noon the next day. Most people would work out at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m., thinking they're in peak fat burning mode. But the sweet spot? Train about 1-2 hours before you break your fast. So in this case, around 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. Why does this work? Because at this point, you've already been in fat-burning mode for hours. Your body has adapted to using fat for fuel. But you're not so deep into the fast that your cortisol is through the roof and your body is panicking for energy. You're in what I call the Goldilocks zone, at not too early, not too late, just right. And here's the kicker. After you train, you're breaking your fast within an hour or two. That means your body gets the nutrients it needs right when it needs them most during that post-workout recovery window. Your muscles soak up protein and carbs like a sponge. Your cortisol comes down. Your body shifts from survive mode to thrive mode. You're basically timing your training so that you get the fat-burning benefits of fasting, the muscle-building benefits of training, and the recovery benefits of eating all in perfect sequence. Let me give you a practical example of how this looks in real life. Say you finish dinner at 7 p.m., you fast overnight, you wake up, you hydrate, maybe have some black coffee or tea, nothing that breaks the fast. You go about your morning. Around 10 or 11 a.m., you hit the gym. Not a crazy intense session where you're grinding yourself into the ground, but a solid, focused workout. Maybe 45 minutes of resistance training or a moderate intensity cardio session. Then, by noon or 1 p.m., you break your fast with a good, balanced meal. Protein, healthy fats, some carbs. Your body uses that fuel to repair and build muscle, not just to survive. Compare that to the guy who trains at 6 a.m., still deep in his fast, pushes hard, then doesn't eat until noon. He's put his body through 6 more hours of stress without fuel. His cortisol stays elevated. His muscle breaks down. And by the time he eats, his body is so desperate for energy that it doesn't efficiently partition nutrients, it just tries to recover from the damage. See the difference? Now, I know everyone's got a different schedule. That's why I put complete training schedules in the pinned comment. Check it out. And if this video is helping you, smash that like button and subscribe. But before you run off to adjust everything, let me show you a mistake that can sabotage this whole thing. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. But Kong, I've heard that fasted cardio is great for fat loss. I've heard training on an empty stomach forces your body to burn fat. And look, there's some truth to that. Light to moderate fasted cardio like a morning walk or easy jog can support fat burning without triggering that muscle breakdown response. The key word there is moderate. But intense training, heavy lifting, HIIT, that's a different story. That level of intensity demands more from your body than fat can provide in real time. And that's when things go sideways. Think of it this way. Fat is like a coal furnace. It burns steady and long, but it takes time to heat up. If you need quick, explosive energy like sprinting or lifting heavy, you need kindling, not coal. And if you don't have glucose readily available, your body makes it from muscle. So yes, fasted cardio can work, but it's got to be the right intensity, and it's still better to do it closer to your eating window, not deeper into your fast. Here's where it gets interesting. This isn't just about fat loss or muscle preservation. It's about sustainability. Most guys focus on what burns the most fat right now, in this moment, during this workout, but they completely forget about what happens over the next week, the next month, the next year. If you train too hard while fasted, you feel like garbage, your energy tanks, your mood drops, your workouts start to suck, and eventually, you quit. But when you time your training right, when you work with your body instead of against it, you feel good. Your energy is stable, your workouts are strong, and you can keep this going long term. That's what really unlocks the fat loss. Not some extreme tactic you can only maintain for 2 weeks before you burn out. The Kong lifestyle isn't about beating yourself up. It's about setting up systems that work for you, not against you. Now, this next part is crucial. If you're going to train near the end of your fast, there are a few tweaks that can make this even more effective. First, hydration. When you're fasted, you're not just low on fuel, you're also low on electrolytes. Sodium, potassium, magnesium. These keep your muscles firing properly. Before your workout, add a pinch of sea salt to your water. Sounds simple, but it makes a huge difference in how you feel and perform. Second, don't overdo the intensity. You're not trying to set a personal record every time you train during a fast. Save the all-out, ego-lifting sessions for when you're properly fueled. During fasted training, focus on consistency and control. You'll still build muscle, still burn fat, but you won't wreck yourself in the process. Third, pay attention to how you feel. If you're dizzy, shaky, or your performance is tanking, that's your body telling you something. Either shorten your fast, adjust your training intensity, or time things differently. This isn't about toughing it out. It's about being smart. Remember at the beginning when I mentioned there's one habit that, if adjusted, will make your body burn fat even while you sleep. Here it is: consistency with your fasting window. Most people constantly shift their eating and fasting times. One day they eat at noon, the next day at 2 p.m., the next day they skip fasting altogether, and their body never adapts. It's always guessing, always stressed, always in survival mode. But when you lock in a consistent schedule, same fasting window, same training time, same eating window, your body gets it. It learns the pattern. It knows when fuel is coming. And paradoxically, when your body trusts the pattern, it's more willing to let go of fat. It doesn't hold on so tightly because it knows it's not starving. That consistency, combined with training at the right time, is what turns your body into a fat-burning machine that runs efficiently 24/7. Look, here's the truth. You don't need to overcomplicate this. You don't need fancy supplements, extreme protocols, or to punish yourself in the gym. You just need to align your training with your fasting window. Train closer to when you break your fast, keep your intensity in check, stay consistent, and give your body the fuel it needs when it needs it most. Do that, and you'll stop spinning your wheels. You'll start building muscle, burning fat, and actually enjoying the process. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about suffering your way to results. It's about making small, smart adjustments that lead to real, lasting changes. I've dropped a complete fasting and workout timing breakdown in the pinned comment. Check it out. It's a game changer. And hit that like button and subscribe if you want more of this practical stuff. Not the usual BS you see everywhere else. You've got this. Now go train at the right time, break your fast with purpose, and let your body do what it's designed to do. Kong out.